Looks like our little town got itself dragged into the middle of something we don't want any. About a week ago, this traitor, Ringo, comes into town. Survivor of an attack, he says. Bad men after. We figured he was just in shock, so we gave him a place to lie low. We didn't actually expect. He's holed up at the abandoned gas station up. You mean murder him? That's not our way, even if Cobb is scum. He can bluster and threaten all he wants. Some of the others, like Sonny, will probably stand up for Ringo if he asks for help, which he hasn't. Personally, I hope he sneaks out of town one night and takes the powder gangers with him. Chain gangs, really. The NCR brought them in from California to work on the rail lines. Problem is, it turns out that giving convicts a bunch of dynamite and blasting powder isn't the best idea. It was a big escape not too long ago. Some of them stuck together so they could make trouble. That's what we're dealing with now. All right. If you were able to get Ringo out of this mess, you'd have a decent reputation around Goodsprings. I'd even set you up with a discount. Of course, helping Ringo would also make the powder gangers mad, and they've got a lot of friends. Don't know why you'd want to do a thing like that. Yep, you'd get on their good side, but people around here wouldn't appreciate it one bit. He's a convict, just without the chains. Said his name was Cobb. Powder gangers is what they call themselves. Plenty. Not much, other than they're a bunch of freeloaders who expected a few rounds on the house. I was able to get them to pay up. Of course, one of the great cons did knock my radio to the floor, by accident, and it hasn't been working since. They were having some kind of argument about it, but the guy in the checkered coat kept shushing them. Sounded like they came in from the north through Quarry Junction. If that's the case, I can't say I blame them for not wanting to go back. That whole area is overrun with the kind of critters that just get mad if you shoot them. Merchants avoid that whole stretch of I-15 like it's radioactive, which it could. I didn't hear exactly, but the leader was talking about the strip. Fellow wants to get there and avoid the 15, he'd have to go east. Take Highway 93 up. Sure, the outside looks okay, but I think something broke on the inside. There'd be caps in it for you. I do like to hear what's going on in the world. And that Mr. New Vegas seems like such... I know that thing as much as anyone else around here. It mostly keeps to itself, which is just fine. It acts friendly enough, but I don't trust that whole cheerful cowboy act. I find it... Other than rolling around once in a while, it doesn't do anything useful as far... I don't know why it took an interest in you, but I'd be careful. It's never helped any... It was here when I took over the saloon 7 years ago. Some people have... There's always something interesting going on. But the biggest news has to be the come and dust up between the NCR and the Legion. I'm pretty sure the NCR wants to hold on to the dam because it's one of... The Legion are a bunch of savages, though. No idea why they'd want the dam. Probably... Slavers, killers, and all other kinds of trouble. They dress up like Roman soldiers, so there's no mistake. The rumor is that the Legion is far larger than the NCR lets on, and that it's been due to luck that the Legion hasn't overrun the...
Hey there.
Hey.
Howdy.
Howdy.
This is Radio New Vegas, and I'm your host, Mr. New Vegas. And in case
Feeling thirsty?
if you've come to the right place, you have.
Yeah, I heard it turned right back on after you got done tinkering with it. Here's some caps for the work.
The solar power plant remains dormant despite NCR's effort to reactivate the facility.
I could get another working radio with the caps I already gave you. Now, how about spending some of those?
On an atmosphere of, quote, severe.
Got a special discount for you.
The news has been brought to you by the Vicky and Vance Casino. Vicky and Vance, be our partners in crime. This next song helped me through a very difficult time in my life, and I hope one day it can do the same for you.
Howdy.
That's close enough. Who are you? Sorry about the gun. You just caught me off guard. We got off to a bad start. What say we start over with a friendly game of Caravan? It's a two-player game, and the winner takes the whole pot. You build a The goal is to create Caravan bids that beat your opponent's bids. So It's why you won't see Caravan in any casino. Too slow-paced. Here, take this holotape. It goes into more specifics about the rule. So... Don't worry. What is it? Yeah, he doesn't look very tough, though. I hear he's afraid I'll shoot him down from one of the windows when I see him. And he's right. I'll have a much bigger problem once his friends show up. There's no way I could handle all of them. I'm gonna lay low for as long as I can, assuming the town doesn't throw me to the wolves. We just end up sharing the same grave if it's just the two of us. No. I was thinking of myself, actually. Who's gonna watch? Start with Sunny Smiles. She's been friendlier than most.
Hi there. Sticking around Good Springs for a while? Say no more. That's inspiring. You may want to keep your optimism to yourself if you try to recruit anyone else. Joe Cobb talks about leaving us alone if we hand over Ringo. But I know his type. He and his friends will come out. However, between you, me, and Ringo, we aren't exactly a force to be reckoned with. A lot of people around here look up to Trudy. If you could convince Trudy to join us, some of the folks in town might decide to help out as well. I know Easy Pete's got a stock of dynamite somewhere, and Chet just got a shipment of leather armor we could borrow. Talk to them as well. Finally, there's a good chance we'll all end up with extra holes in us. So if Doc Mitchell could cough up some extra stim packs, that'd be great. A silver tongue would help. Convincing Trudy that we had a good plan to win the fight would also help. I don't think give is in Chet's vocabulary. Even with the town at stake, he'd still make you buy. Easy Pete's pretty protective of his dynamite. You'd have to convince him you know a thing or two about explosives before you handed it over. Not in Good Springs, no. But if you're up for a little scavenging, there's always the schoolhouse. Most of what's in there is junk, but there's this old safe that even Easy Pete wasn't able to crack with. If you want to take a shot at it, take these. If the lock's too much for you to handle, reading through the magazine might give you the edge you need. You'll need those to pick the lock. Be careful, though. Put too much pressure. Always happy to help someone down on their luck. Sure can. Take the road southeast out of town till it hits the freeway. Prim is the town with the roller coaster straight south. Can't miss it. NCR patrols do a good job of keeping the highway clear, but I'd keep your gun where you can reach it easily. You never know who you'll run into. Off the road, you'll probably start running into hostile wildlife. My advice would be to stick to the highway when you can. Sure. Southeast of here is Prim. Can't miss it, since it has the giant old roller coaster right in the middle. If you follow the road north, you'll eventually hit Sloan and Quarry Junction. They mine rocks or something, but I heard they got troubles lately. I wouldn't head that direction if I were you, though. Got critters up there that don't take kindly to getting shot. Around here, mostly coyotes and geckos. The coyotes are pretty dangerous in large packs, but otherwise they're nothing to really worry about. The geckos aren't too tough, but they've got a nasty bite. I've heard about bigger, nastier versions out in the wasteland, but I've never seen them. Stick to the roads when you can, and steer clear of the hills north of Good Springs. The critters up there are... The new California Republic. They can be right pushy, but the... Not that... Well, the wildlife for one thing. Rowdy locals for... They're protecting their own. They've been holding off this other group from the east, too. Got a funny name. Call themselves Caesar's Legion. Never seen them in these parts, so I couldn't tell. I hear rumors, that's about it. Supposedly they keep slaves and they got some real nasty ways of killing folks. But maybe that's just something folks in the NCR cooked up to make them... If you want... I hunt geckos mostly. The meat's pretty good and I can always find a buyer for the hides. I also help keep the town clear of rat scorpions and coyotes. Not many people live in Good Springs, so wildlife is always... I'll be...
armor and extra ammo. Sure hope it's worth it. And, I'll be guarding the store while all this is going on. I have to put my...
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. New Vegas. Thank you very, very much for listening. Here are our top stories. Tensions are brewing in Freeside between the ruling gang known as the Kings and the large number of NCR squatters seeking refuge there. The leader of the Kings, who would only identify himself as the King, voiced his displeasure,
Feeling thirsty?
calling NCR citizens, quote, the devil in disguise. He added he didn't want to see the NCR...
That does sound like a good plan. Alright, you seem to know what you're doing, so let me have a word with a few other folks, and I'll see if I can't round up some more. While everyone does own a gun, we could stand to be a little better equipped. The general store probably...
The chief scientist at the plant vowed to fix the problem, blaming it on an atmosphere of, quote, severe underappreciation. You know, I think all news, whether it's good or bad, brings us closer together. Don't you? You're gonna love this next song, I guarantee it.
So what's going on? Well, I guess that means we're ready to go. All right,
Time to look alive. The powder gangers are here to play. At least 6, Joe Cobb included. They look pretty mean. I'll be set up near the store. Let's hope that the gang doesn't manage to make it that far.
I owe you a huge favor for this. Here, these are technically Crimson Caravan funds, but I know they'll understand once I explain things.